welcome to Alex Goes Coconuts. So today I'm going to talk about my top tips when visiting Universal Studios Orlando for the first time. So you've decided to visit the Universal parks and you don't know where to start. A little bit of planning ahead of time will help you save time and money. So I'm going to share all my top tricks and tips when visiting the parks. Alright, so let's begin. Tip number one is to plan a more than 1 day visit to the theme parks. I think people underestimate how much there is to do and see at the Universal theme parks, and I think that if you try to pack it into all 1 day, you will be missing out on way too many things. I think that a 3-day visit is the ideal time frame to visit Universal Studios, and I would add an extra day if you're planning on visiting Volcano Bay. Now, if your budget really doesn't allow a 3-day visit, then a 2-day visit is absolutely fine. You can do most of everything within 2 days, especially if you're visiting during low season when the crowds are a lot less heavy. Tip number two is to stay on Universal property. Universal has tons of amazing hotels at different price ranges. So no matter what your budget is, you'll find a hotel that'll suit your family. And staying at a Universal hotel gives you a lot of perks. You have free transportation to all the theme parks. You also get early entry to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This is a huge thing, especially when it's a busier time of year. That extra hour will allow you to get a lot of rides done before the heavy crowds come in. Also, most of the hotels are not very far from the parks, so you can either walk, take a boat, or take a bus to the parks, and really you're a stone throw away from City Walk, which has a ton of great restaurants and nightlife. So that brings me to tip number three. If you can afford it, I would definitely splurge and try to stay at Universal's premium hotels. So Universal has 3 premium hotels, which include the Royal Pacific Resort, the Hard Rock Hotel, and Portofino Bay. Now, if you stay in one of these 3 resorts, you actually get a free express pass for everyone staying inside your room. This is an amazing benefit, especially if you're traveling during peak times when the parks are extremely busy. That express pass gives you front of the line access to almost every single ride at both Universal theme parks. So on a busy day, this is really amazing. You can do a lot more rides in less time. Now, you can purchase the express pass separately, but it's so expensive per person per day that I totally suggest you just do this instead. It's a much better value for your money. All right, tip number 4 is to purchase a park-to-park ticket. You're gonna wanna purchase that park-to-park ticket because you don't want to miss out on riding the Hogwarts Express. Now, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, riding the train is an experience all in itself, and I do highly recommend splurging on that park-to-park ticket because a lot of people, they go and they purchase separate tickets for each day and they don't realize that they don't have access to the Hogwarts Express. And I can see a lot of people being disappointed when they're at that park. There's also something to say about park hopping during the day because the parks are so close in proximity that if one park is really too busy, you can hop over to the other park and enjoy, some attractions on that side and avoid the crowds in the other parks. So this is the benefit of having a park-to-park ticket. Now, if you really don't care about Harry Potter, you're not a fan, and you don't care about riding the Hogwarts Express, then you can definitely do 1 ticket per day and just visit one park in 1 day and then visit another park on another day. All right, that brings me to tip number 5. I would definitely look into purchasing an annual pass instead of buying day tickets. Sometimes annual passes come out cheaper than a 3-day park-to-park ticket. So if you do end up getting an annual pass, it'll give you a lot of benefits like discounts on food and merchandise. It will also give you room discounts, pretty big room discounts on, Universal hotels. You can get up to 30 to 40% off your room rate, and that is big savings, especially if you're a larger family. And the great thing about buying an annual pass is not everybody in your party has to buy an annual pass. You can buy one annual pass to benefit from the pass holder discounts. So if you buy one annual pass, you can buy the rest of your family tickets with that annual pass and get a discount on it. Now, Universal has 4 tiers of annual passes, so definitely check which is better for you. I know that 2 of their annual passes have blackout dates, so make sure that your travels aren't within those blackout dates. Now, if you decide that an annual pass is not worth it financially for you and your family, that brings me to tip number 6. Definitely buy your tickets early. Do not wait to buy your tickets at the gate of the theme parks because you're going to be paying a lot more for those tickets. Definitely shop around. There are some discounted vendors that have some really great deals on ticket prices. And even if you do decide to book it through Universal, definitely buy them early because they offer a bigger discount than if you buy them at the gate. All right, so tip number 7 is to leave your big backpack at home. Unlike Disney, Universal does not allow you to bring your backpacks or your bags onto the thrill rides. You will have to store most of these items in a locker. Now, Universal does offer free lockers at the entrance of each ride, but these lockers are very small. They're long and narrow, and they can usually just fit like a small purse, a fanny pack, or a small sling bag. Now, if you do prefer bringing a large backpack because you want to store more things for your whole entire family, you can definitely rent a locker for the day. They have lockers at the front of the park that you can rent for about $12 to $14. So that is an option, but these lockers are at the front of the park, so you will have to trek back each time to the front of the park to access anything inside your bag. All right, tip number 8 is actually to leave the parks during lunchtime and go eat at one of the restaurants in City Walk. The parks have a lot of different food options, and honestly, they're really, really good. But when the park is completely packed, it's really nice to go somewhere where there's a lot less crowds and there's no lineups. And City Walk has tons of amazing restaurants that you can eat at for lunch, and they're gonna be virtually empty. All right, tip number 9 is definitely bring rain ponchos. Florida is known for its unexpected rain showers, and I can't tell you how many times I've been caught in the rain, and I've been really glad that I purchased those dollar store rain ponchos before I left. So make sure you have a rain poncho for each of the days that you're visiting a Florida theme park. You're gonna thank me later when it starts raining on you and you have something to cover up with. Plus, they can double up as protection in case you want to do a water ride and you don't feel like getting soaked to the bone. Tip number 10 is to make sure that you have sunscreen and something to protect you from the sun. So either a hat, sunglasses. People forget how hot it gets inside those theme parks, and you can burn so easily, especially in the Florida sun. So make sure you bring sunscreen with you and make sure to apply it throughout the day so that you don't come home with a sunburn. Okay, tip number 11 is to arrive early and leave late. So the parks get really crowded during the day, and if you really want to get a lot of rides done, the best thing is to arrive really early in the morning before the crowds arrive, or to stay late inside the parks. At the later hours, usually the crowds dissipate and you will be able to get onto those rides with a lot less of a wait time. Plus, it's really nice to see the Wizarding World after dark. It's really an area that comes to life as soon as the sun sets. So staying late inside those parks will give you some great photo opportunities. Tip number 12 is to try to follow a touring plan as much as possible. Touring plans will help you navigate the parks much more efficiently, and you'll most probably be able to get more rides done in one day than if you didn't have any kind of plan. Now, touring plans are readily available all over the internet. Just Google it and you'll most probably find a touring plan that suits your needs. There are touring plans for parents visiting with young children. There's touring plans for thrill seekers. There's touring plans for Harry Potter lovers. This will give you a good idea of which rides to do first. and which rides you can, do in the afternoon when the crowds are a little bit heavier. Certain rides are usually less busy at certain times of the day, and knowing which rides those are will save you so much time and energy inside those parks. So tip number 13 is to download the Universal app onto your phone before leaving. The Universal app is a really great tool that'll help you plan your day better once you're at Universal. It has interactive maps, it has ride wait times, you can also mobile order your food and your drinks with it. It also lists all the show schedules, and you can even use it as a wallet so that you can pay for your tickets or food or merchandise. Now, my favorite thing about the Universal app is that you can save your list of favorites to make sure that you don't miss anything when you visit the parks. And you can even set timers to warn you when certain shows start or when certain events will begin. So that brings me to tip number 14. Make sure to check those show schedules. Universal has tons of live shows that are really amazing and they're not to be missed. There's tons of great shows within the wizarding world of Harry Potter, such as the Tales of Beedle and Bard or the Frog Choir. There's also the night projection on the Hogwarts Castle that is amazing and you definitely don't want to miss. Universal has some really great parades too, especially their seasonal parades. They have Mardi Gras parades, they have Christmas parades, and there's also some attractions that have showtimes such as Poseidon's Fury. Like I said, you can use the app to set timers for those shows so that you don't miss your favorites. So tip number 15 is to make sure that you purchase costumes or robes before you head to Universal. The Wizarding World is super immersive and a lot of people like to dress up when they go, and honestly I highly recommend it. It just makes the whole experience a lot more fun. So when I visited with the children, I decided to buy them robes before our trip, and I got those on Amazon and I paid I think $30 for them, whereas inside the parks they ended up costing I think $124 for one robe. So honestly, I saved a whole bunch of money by doing that. I'll definitely put a link in the description box down below if you are looking for robes. But yeah, purchasing your merchandise before you leave for Universal will save you a ton of money. So tip number 16 is an exception to the previous rule. I definitely think you should splurge and buy yourself an interactive wand. That is the one piece of merchandise that I highly suggest guests buy. It'll just make your day in the Wizarding World that much more fun. Now, their Universal's interactive wands are super cool because there are secret locations throughout the Wizarding World of Harry Potter where you can perform magic tricks. So if you buy the wand, you will be able to partake in that special experience. Now, a wand costs around $50, but what's great about it is that it's good for life. So even if you return to Universal at any time, your wands will work no matter what. And what's great too is if you do end up breaking your wand or your wand stops working, Universal actually exchanges or repairs your wand for free. Now, when you receive the wand, you get a really cool map telling you all the secret locations throughout the park where you can perform magic tricks. This is a really cool way to explore all of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's also great because the wand and the map double up as a really cool souvenir. So my kids, after purchasing that wand, they kept playing with it all the way home, and honestly they still play with it and use it as a costume prop. Now, what's cool is that you only need to purchase one wand for your whole family to take advantage of that special experience. Since you can only do the magic tricks one at a time, the first person can perform the magic trick and then pass on the wand to the next family member. So like I said, splurge on the wand. It's definitely worth the money. All right, guys, so those are all my tips and tricks for first-time visitors. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions that I might have missed, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a magical trip. Bye.